Hey, y'all, welcome to the show tonight. This is Homestead Centric. And whether you're live or watching on the replay, welcome to the show. Thanks for watching. We're so glad to have you, and we hope you enjoy the show. In a few minutes, I'll be bringing out Lynn guitar from Bucket List Homestead, and we're going to be discussing tonight avenues of supporting the homestead and help getting the homestead to help to support itself. There are ways, believe it or not, that you can earn an income from your homestead, and we'll be talking about some of those. But first, we have some housekeeping things to do. First off, we have Wendy's birthday giveaway, February 8th. 2023 coming up. It's going to be a live stream right here, same bat place, same bat channel, same bat crazy. It'll be a live stream at 6 p.m. on February 8th, and you must be present to win. I am going to use the StreamYard giveaway tool so that it's all fair. Also, we just started our blog. We have monetized that to a point. thand141homestead.com has our blog on it. Let's see here. Let me stop that for a second. I'm trying to negotiate a new program. And I'm just learning, but we want to bring up it should be right here. There it is. But there is a free subscription and a 99-cent per month subscription. The free subscription, you get the famously popular blog posts about twice a month ish. And it's free, but by subscribing to the free one, it does help me get recognized better by Google and search engines and stuff like that. With the 99-cent plan or the Handsteader plan, you get a member's blog post every week. Every week there will be a blog coming out about something on the homestead. It'll open you up to special content, members only merch options that I'm working on, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I got to stop that again. I don't like having to reach in front of the camera to do that, but I'm learning. We'll be having Lynn up in just a second. And then down at the bottom of your screen, you will see the Eastern Ontario Homesteading Conference, May 6, 2023. It's at 194 Cameron's Road, McDonald's Corners, at the McDonald's Corners Agricultural Society. And I will be one of the guest speakers. What a privilege to be able to talk about do-it-yourself off-grid systems, such as water and power and stuff like that. I am really enjoying the research that I'm doing on that side of things for the presentation. I'm being allowed to play with a PowerPoint presentation and computers, man. And let's see here. Today on the Homestead Centric show, we have for our first ever mail call.
Mail call!
You know, that was really fun to make. I got a envelope from Thorhaven Farm, and we're going to open it up for the first time. Listen to that. First time opening up I think I'm going to open up. Boy, that's a beautiful, thick envelope. I got seeds. They know me so well. They know me so well. Ooh, I got Thor Haven Farm stickers, 2 of them. That is nice. And I got a card. Ooh, better not get. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Darren and Brigitte. Thank you so much. Oh, let's see what seeds I got. Wildflower mixed. A wildflower mix. Be surprised. That is going to be awesome. Ooh, rhubarb. Nice. I can always use rhubarb. I love me some rhubarb. Okay, this is in French. It's haricot hidatsta. I'm gonna have to look up what that is. But it's in a beautiful package. It's like a homemade paper type package. That's pretty cool. West Coast pole beans Matilda. Those look like some nice little beans there, man. And the West Coast Speedy Organic non-GMO and untreated beans. Nice. Thank you so much to Thorhaven Farm, Darren and Bridget. I want to take right up here, and I'm going to put a board or something so that I can stick stickers up on here so that they're on every live stream that I do. Yeah, that is awesome. Thank you guys. I am just touched. I was making I'm touched. Touched in the head. But anyway, I was just getting that out of the blue. That was just so awesome. Thank you so much. I went through some of my seeds today, and it was just awesome. So let me get rid of that one and bring up this one just to let you know videos are released on this channel every Monday and Friday, 3:15 p.m. The live is at 6 p.m. every Thursday. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And anything that you guys want, the blog is at tham141homestead.com. Hey there, old man King. We got a bunch of people, guys. Without any further ado, oh, Darren and Brigitte are in here. Thank you so much for that. Without further ado, this is a woman who needs no introduction. She has recently been monetized and making billions from her YouTube career. But I've learned so much from her channel and everything that she does, and so glad to call her friend. This is Lynn Guitar from Bucket List Homestead. How's it going, Lynn?
Billions? Do you know something I don't know? Because I haven't even gotten my first paycheck from YouTube yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought once you had 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, I thought you had it made. You never had to worry about anything again. No,
you don't have it. I mean, that's the first 2 steps, but yeah, you have a threshold that you have to reach, and I have it now, but I've missed the cutoff in December, and I guess they're a month behind. So I'm thinking I'm going to get my first paycheck from them in a couple of days, and then Remy burst my bubble and said, "No, you won't see it to February because they're like a month." I'm like, "Oh man."
Yeah. It's weird because like with my AdSense, I have AdSense for my webpage so that they can put webs. It's funny because I try to be pure organic. I try not to use chemicals or anything like that. I have used nitrogen on this lawn. I should have never done it. I have chickens. My lawn is way too thick. I need Uber mower because my lawn's so thick now. But I lost my train of thought. Don't you love it when that happens? Yes, I did. I lost it completely.
About AdSense on your website.
Oh yes, AdSense on my website, but they're putting up ads about fertilizer and ways to, which, okay, agriculture type
Right.
thing. Google has me down as a farm school. Apparently that was the closest thing I could find to what I do. And it's hard because we put so much time into the homestead. I mean, just the time it takes for you to create some of these meals, to prepare to create some of the meals that you've been doing for the pantry challenge and stuff like that is enormous. But then you go about videotaping it, which doubles or triples the time. Then editing for every 10 minutes of video that makes it to YouTube, it takes hours to edit, depending. Now, I've learned some shortcuts on my editing software, but it is
I will say my shorter videos, I find I don't have to edit as much anymore. It's when I'm doing anything 10 minutes or more.
Yeah.
I tend to have to edit. Like, I have a blooper reel, man, that
you ought to put that up.
I plan to. I just, one of those things, that it's on the plan.
Yeah. Darren just came out with a video. There are homesteaders calling out other homesteaders on YouTube for
every few
cheating.
months, it seems.
Yeah. Well, I remember there was a big controversy over Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. They've got a beautiful camper because they travel the country and go to the various homesteading conferences and stuff, and they've got a beautiful camper. Well, their YouTube channel has made that possible. Yes. And I'm sorry, but if that ever becomes in my thing where I can afford the comfort, I'm going to go for it, to afford the comfort. Yeah. However, they do live in their little house. There's no question in my mind about that, the authenticity. And
I just started my website. It's something I've wanted to do for years. I finally got it going up, and Google denied me AdSense because it's too new. I don't have the traffic yet. So I thought I'd try for it anyway, just to see, because I like to plan and I want to know when it does happen, what I'll have to do. So They were great. They explained why, and they told me, please, apply again, keep applying until we'll approve you. So, that's one way I hope to earn some extra money.
Yeah. And it's not a lot. I don't know. I think they might have given me like a $5 credit or something, because in the last, since December, it's a stink bug.
Oh, bucks. Yeah.
Anyway, it could have been worse. Could have been a spider. Then you would have heard me scream. No. But yeah, I had to totally redesign my website in order to get them to take it. But it's the YouTube is a way, number one, to build community and support. Yep. Because if you're a homesteader and you don't use YouTube, you're missing out on a huge resource. Whether, no matter who it is, everybody, you can type in almost anything. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Second only to Google, and Google owns them.
Owns YouTube. I know. Yeah. So now when I notice when I do search stuff, it automatically takes me to YouTube first now, if I search anything on Google. So I don't even know if they're the second largest anymore. I think they're kind of like, but I will say, before the world ended, almost 3 years ago, I did not know that there was a name for what David and I and the kids here, what we did. It was our life. I didn't know. And I found my community on YouTube. That's how I found it. And I'm like, oh, we're homesteaders? Like, because I'm thinking Little House on the Prairie, because I guess I should introduce myself. I did see someone say, can you say, my name is Lynn Guitar. And yes, that is really our last name. I swear. I live in Ontario, Canada, by way of Maine. I'm originally from Maine. Fell in love with the military guy who was Canadian, and he took me out of my country, and I've now lived in Canada longer than I lived in the United States. So my kids say I'm now more Canadian than American. My son just says, because you are. Dave and I have been married. It'll be 30 years this year.
Wow.
I got married when literally I graduated in June and I got married in August.
Wow. You weren't waiting.
No. And I always say that God knew what I was going to be going through in my life. So he made sure to put a very good man in my life as early as possible. So I would, meet him and we kind of grew up together. Right. And everything. David is military. He did 30 years full-time service with the Canadian Armed Forces. Retired. It will be 2 years this year. Full-time military, but he's still in the reserve unit.
Yeah.
So he's still, but a lot nicer. He doesn't do any tours anymore. He's home every night for supper. He's home on weekends. We love it. David did 3 tours alone to Afghanistan. So it's nice. The kids love it. We love it. It's great. So we came to, I'm going to say I always we even homesteaded when we lived in military housing. We lived in military housing for 20 years. Even the little bit of property I would grow a few vegetables, or I would have like tomato plants in pots on my little deck that we would have, not even a deck, a cement slab. And we would do that. And then I'd use my farmer markets for a lot of my canning and everything, because I couldn't grow enough to can, but we could at least have something, because I wanted the kids to see where the food came from.
Yeah.
And then in 2012, I got diagnosed with cancer the first time. With non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, stage 3. And to say it turned our world upside down is an understatement. You don't expect it to be you. You don't. And which is silly, because 1 in 4 people in Canada get diagnosed with cancer every day. So in my particular cancer, I was under 40 at the time, and it's the fastest growing cancer in Canadian among people under the age of 40, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I was going through my first chemo treatment, and David and I looked at one another, and David, this is why God made sure I met my husband when I was 14. David looked at me and he said, let's make a list for what we really want out of life for when you are better, not if, for when you beat cancer and you're better. And I said, oh, like a bucket list. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah. So we made a bucket list. And at the top, we wanted to finally buy our own house. At that point, we'd been living in military housing for 20 years, and we'd had enough. The older we get, the more privacy and quiet we want.
Mm-hmm.
And you just don't get that living in military housing. And I wanted enough property for the kids. They were still young. We wanted them, like Aiden, to be able to drive his 4-wheeler around, his own property. For them to have a big trampoline, a place just for them to run and scream and holler and chase the dog and all that. And I wanted a big garden, and I wanted apple trees, and I wanted pear trees, and I wanted chickens. Oh, I wanted chickens so bad. And 9 years ago this summer, we found this place. Nice. It's about 3 acres, and we used to be quiet. The world turned, and everybody decided, hey, we can work from home now. We don't have to live in the big cities. Let's all move to the rural spots where it's cheaper to buy houses. So our area has now become one of the most sought after areas for city people, and it's no longer as quiet as it used to be.
Yeah, we found that in Port Leyden when Wendy and I started looking for land. Was it back in 2015, 2014? They had 10 acres for $59,000. It right literally behind our house. It was rural, it was woods, it was wooded, but they were selling camps to people from New York City and New Jersey, and we couldn't afford that.
Yeah. Oh, that's what happened here. they were paying literally 300,000 and higher over asking for houses here.
Yeah.
Now they're paying for it
Yeah.
big time because the interest rates have gone through the roof.
Yeah.
And houses that sold 3 years ago, we've seen them going up for sale the last couple of weeks, actually.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting.
I just switched over to a fixed interest mortgage on this property. This property was free and clear. And the property in Port Leyden, my rental property, had a mortgage on it, a line of credit, actually. That's how we bought this land. But I just switched to fixed interest because that was about to hit its stop draw date, or where you can't draw out anymore, and I was afraid that it was all gonna balloon up. Interest rates were really, really low, so I ended up doing that. So now we know you start homesteading, and we all want to see it at least pay. You got to make a living making a living. You know, you've got to be able to eat, whether you go to the store or you go to the garden to get the stuff. You got to be able to afford the seeds until you can get up. What are some of the first ways that you started looking to develop an income from the homestead?
So the first year we lived here, we actually couldn't do anything because I got diagnosed with cancer a second time.
Yeah.
I'm a 4-time cancer survivor.
Praise God. That is awesome.
I know. So I thank him every day, believe me. Because I know many people aren't as fortunate, but I think he can stop now. Like 4 times is more than enough. So the second year, and of course, I couldn't do a whole lot for a year or two because the second time around I had stem cells and my immune system was very weak. So I couldn't be around a lot of people. But I'd always had a home daycare for years. And when we moved out here, even in the military housing, I did home daycare. I started up the home daycare again. And that helped pay, because David was military, which they don't pay a lot. They still don't pay a lot. That helped us basically do the lifestyle I wanted, pay for the extras, the seeds, the plants. And it was great because the daycare kids loved it. They loved going out and getting the eggs they helped me pay for my chickens that first time. And we used a lot of stuff that was around our property that was left here to build our coop, thank goodness. So we didn't have a lot of expense for the coop other than the chicken wire. Whew, that stuff adds up. And that helped pay for that. So I did have, and then after about 2 years with the daycare, I retired from that. I'd done it for about 20 years, and it was getting harder on our children to have people in their home. And I did work outside the home for a little while, but that got difficult because we do have 2 special needs kids, and it was just too hard for one of us has to be home. One of the parents has to be. David is not able to be with his job, so it was me. So I had to come up with other ways to help pay for things. And I took up crocheting after cancer the second time because I had a lot of neuropathy, which I still do. And I had a lot of weakness in my hands, and I needed something to help build my strength back up in my hands. So I started learning how to crochet, and I found I loved it.
Now, for those who don't know, neuropathy is the numbness in the finger.
The nerve pain. It just, very extreme cold and very extreme heat affects it. And I live in Eastern Ontario, Canada, where it can be extremely cold and extremely hot. So I have some bad days, but I took to crocheting. I loved it. I've always loved doing crafts and everything. But I loved it. And I learned through YouTube. YouTube helped, and with some friend that also been doing it for years. I would email her and videos of what I was doing wrong to show her what I was doing wrong so she could tell me what to do. And I loved it. And then I thought, well, maybe, I could sell the things I'm making. And I did. I'm certainly never going to get rich from it, but I was able to pay for more seeds. I was able to pay for some equipment, doing some different shows. And then when Facebook Marketplace exploded, I was able to advertise on that, the things I was selling, mainly in the holidays, because it's a lot easier to sell certain things for holidays and stuff. So I did that. I still do that. I'm hoping to have my crochet shawls up on my website soon. So that's I'm just announcing that, by the way. That's one of the things I've got in the fire right now.
Nice.
We don't expect to get, I'm not going to lie. It would be great if I could make enough income off of YouTube that David could retire 100%. And then we could really do even more of the homesteading things we'd like to do.
Yeah.
I have a lot of limitations physically with some things. I just do. I always am going to. It's the gift that was left to me from chemotherapy. Yeah. And I hate it that David spends a lot of his weekends doing things because he works all week. And then Saturday and Sunday, he works here too. But if I can at least earn enough to pay for this lifestyle, that would be great. Like, like I sell eggs. I sell the extra eggs because my chickens, and we just ordered 4 more egg layers yesterday.
You should be making a mint now. Millions and millions.
Eggs here aren't bad. I mean,
no.
I don't say they're bad. We went to the grocery store with our daughter on Monday. She did some shopping. I didn't because I'm still doing the pantry challenge. And I thought, let's go look at the eggs because I just want to see. Now, regular run-of-the-mill eggs, they're not organic or anything. They're just run-of-the-mill. They were $3.49 a dozen here. They were $1.99 a couple of years ago. But $3.89 compared to what they're paying, like my parents in Florida, I think Mom said it was $12 for Dad to get his organic eggs the other day.
Wow.
Like that's crazy for the States.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we were joking saying people aren't going to be stealing catalytic converters anymore. They're going to start stealing people's chickens.
Yeah. There is a prediction out there that chickens can within the next year or two will be $20 a piece for chicks. I went on Murray McMurray Hatchery, which is one of the larger hatcheries that I've ordered from in the past, and they want between $4.25 and $5 something for females, for all female pullets, chicks, day-old chicks. They send them right through the post through the mail.
Yep.
They want like $4.60 or $4.75 a piece. A couple years ago, that was $1 something.
Oh, see, now we went and ordered ours yesterday. So we ordered 4 pullets. We're not doing the chicks with the egg layers because been there, done that. And we are getting meat birds. We ordered 10 of them and they're coming as chicks. So we're like, we're not doing all these chicks. It is $10 a piece for our laying chickens. Because we're having to pay a little extra fee because we're only getting 4. If we got 10 or more, it's cheaper. Well, David would kill me if I got 10 more. I mean, I had to really sweet talk about the 4.
Right.
The meat chicks, I think, because we got 10, I think it was $5 a piece for them. I really didn't care because one chicken in the grocery store Monday was $18. One chicken, and it wasn't organic.
And with the like the X-Rocks that we used to get,
that's what we got.
You would end up with 5 to 8 pound chickens.
I hope so.
And it was just awesome. I mean, Wendy was able to breast them out and quarter them up all nice and cool. I probably would just half them now because it's just me, but I got hold of my sister-in-law. I have an incubator and I have roosters. I have 3 roosters. And so each one of my hens should be very, very fertile with 3 roosters. But I'm thinking that the only problem is with the incubator, I'm off grid, and maybe by spring I'll have enough sunlight. Right now I'm not getting a whole lot of sunlight. I have just enough battery backup to last me a couple days of darkness before I have to run the generator.
Okay, so maybe in the spring when the days are longer and hopefully the sun comes back.
Yeah. But I was thinking I can take my eggs down. My sister-in-law said that she would incubate them for me. $8 a dozen. That
Did
is.
you ever think you would see eggs at 8? I mean, that's high for Canada,
And
let alone you guys.
yeah, that's US
Jeez,
dollars. That's
that's nuts.
it's because the Department of Interior and stuff, we had the bird flu here. It wasn't
Mhm.
as popularized. I heard more about the bird flu from Canadians than I did, but they've killed millions of chickens. They have shut down
Millions.
complete processing plants and hatcheries. And the thing is I don't think they had to kill you.
I don't think they did either.
I don't know
That's
the
another
specifics.
show.
Yeah. But so prices are going up. When I go back to selling eggs, I think I will probably go up to $3 a dozen.
We sell ours $5 a dozen because they are organic. Our chickens are fed organic feed, and so we pay. We just bought feed yesterday. I think it was $33 for the 25. I don't know if that's a 25-pound bag or 50. I'll have to ask David, but I think we might have. It's the price of the shavings and all that that's going up. Like that has gone up quite a bit. We used to pay like $5 for a big bag of shavings, and I think it was $8 there yesterday. So that's gone up, but I'm thinking about just going up another dollar, like going to $6
Yeah.
a dozen just to help. But I will say, I don't mind staying at 5 because we don't sell them to get rich. I sell enough of my extra eggs to pay to feed my chickens. Like I sold enough eggs this week that actually covered the cost of the feed for the chickens for the month. So I'm good.
That's what I'm aiming for, is just a self-sustainability.
Yeah.
Because I get eggs also. I can eat as many eggs as I want. Well, right now my chickens. I just found this fell out of my checkbook a few seconds ago because I have a mess over here. 300 pounds of lay mash for my chickens, 71.25. That comes out to $23.75 a 100-pound bag, and that is from a feed mill.
Okay.
That's not from a store. That's from a feed mill. And Bailey's in Boonville, guys, check them out if you're in this area. They are awesome, really nice folks. But it is getting to the point where chickens and eggs are in such demand now that it's going to get more expensive. My suggestion is, like you said, aim to pay for your feed with the sales. Don't try to match prices.
No.
Now,
and I will say, my chickens are extremely spoiled.
Yeah.
They're very spoiled, and I think they're very happy. And this may sound crazy, but I think happy chickens lay great eggs. I mean, everyone who's been buying from us are like, these are the best eggs I've ever had. And I'm like, I think it's because they're so happy.
The only one that I have had a problem, my brother got I forget what they call it. He got an egg, and I don't know how it happened. Whether it was one that Wendy picked up and put in with him or what. He got a partly formed chick in an egg.
Oh. And I don't have a rooster, so I don't have to worry about that.
and that can turn you off big time. My mom floats the eggs, but she's just one person, and she'll keep a dozen eggs for quite a while.
Yeah. And I mean, my kids don't eat eggs like as eggs. They've never liked them, not even as little ones. They eat them in things. They don't know sometimes, but they do eat them in a lot of baked goods. David and I eat them, but even I mean, you can only eat so many. So one of the things I am really excited to try this year, I'm going to be trying to water glass a lot. I finally found the lime I need. I finally found some. And I'm going to start water glassing them this spring. And instead of freezing them, so I can actually have them unfrozen. So I'm really excited to do that because our chickens don't seem to know that they're supposed to stop laying in the winter.
Hey, that's a good thing.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, I have 8 chickens. We got 6 eggs again today. I've gotten 6 eggs every day now for over a week. Out of the 8, like, and all through November and December, we would get a minimum of 3 eggs a day.
I'm
4
just
of them are this
now.
year's chickens. Yeah, four of them are this year's chickens. The other 4, this is their second winter. So I really expect the 4 that are going to be on their 3rd winter next year. I expect them not to lay hardly at all through the winter, if any, next winter. So I just want to make sure I water glass some. But yeah, if I can not have to cost anything to have my chickens, because I just love having them as pets. And this time of year, they make me have to get out of the house, right? Because this time of year, you tend to want to just hibernate and not go out.
Yeah.
They make you have to get out, and they're funny. You know, I talk to them. I find them funny to watch, and I love organic eggs. I mean, I do so much baking and everything, and it does make a difference in the quality of your cooking.
When I free range my chickens right now, and my goal once I get the barn built is to have a fenced in area large enough to have chickens and turkeys and maybe even goats. I'm not sure yet, but where they can all be in the same pen and not turn it to dirt.
Yes.
Instantly. But they that's my goal, because the free range eggs, when the eggs are eating little fellas like the stink bug who just keeps coming back.
Yep.
The power of Christ compels you. Oh, I threw it at the cat. Sorry, kid. But the yolks are orange. They're dark orange, and they don't break. And even when they do break, they're not as watery. So selling eggs is an awesome way. Just to recoup a little, even if it doesn't, if it takes me down where I'm only paying $1 or $2 for a dozen of eggs for me, then I'm happy.
I mean, we buy our cartons too, right? And I get them on sale at PV. Whenever they're on sale, we go and buy like 20 of them at a time. PV used to be Tractor Supply Store.
Mm-hmm.
They got bought out by PV, which is a Canadian store. They still have all the same stuff. It's just they're now called PV. We get them on sale. If I'm lucky, they'll go on. They used to go on sale for $0.25. Now they're going on sale for 39 cents. So I also have to include that, like that. So that's and nobody brings them back. I keep telling everybody, we will take these back, and then they'll bring me back ones that they got from like the store. And I mean, it's thoughtful and everything, but I don't want those. I want the ones that are plain, and I put my logo on my egg cartons for my YouTube channel and our Homestead. And I don't want the ones, because I don't want people either thinking I'm selling them eggs from Walmart.
Right.
I don't want them to think that. So, so you have to take that into account too. But if I can just make enough to pay to have my own fresh eggs, then I'm happy. And I didn't pay for feed from April through October last year, because we sold enough eggs every week that our feeds, and we didn't even realize it until about August or September. And I'm like, because we just kept taking the money out of the egg jar, we call it. If people pay us in cash, some people pay us online, but if they paid us in cash, we would just take it out of the jar. And I'm like, when was the last time we used debit to pay for feed? And David's like, geez, he said, I think it was still cold out.
Wow.
So that was amazing. Like that we were able to have the chickens taken care of all summer, their feed and costs. So
and you do a lot of baking and cooking where the eggs are really being used.
Yep.
Now, I believe it was James who said, get ahead of the curve, get into pigs. I do. Wendy and I, when we got chickens, we started putting, and this sounds excessive, but it's my way of padding the account a little bit, I guess you'd say. We would give the chickens get $100 a month. Now, that is for feed, which doesn't cost anywhere near that. Well, it came close this last time, but those 300 pounds will last me 2.5 to 3 months.
Yeah.
But then, we would use that. Okay, honey, you know what? You don't feel like cooking tonight. Let's stop on the way home and we'll get something to eat. The chickens will buy it, The other day I had to buy a new feeder for the chickens, and that factors into that. In the summer, I do raise it to $150 because I add the pigs in.
Okay.
And towards the end of the summer, that's pushing it because the pigs start eating a whole lot.
A whole lot more. We aren't in the position to raise our own animals. I mean, I wish we could. I mean, we're out in the country, but we're not considered rural. And our neighbors, they're still closer than we would like. Ideally, we'd like to be on a road by ourselves, quite frankly. But our neighbors next door, they had pet goats, and the neighbors next to them turned them in after 4 years, by the way, because they had a falling out about something. And all of a sudden, the city found out about their goats and their duck, and they had to get rid of them. I was petrified because I thought, oh my gosh, they're going to come after my chickens. But luckily, ours are in the back of our house. You wouldn't even know we have them if I didn't put my eggs for sale sign outside. But so we don't have the property for pigs, but we do have local farmers we have one farmer this way who's 5 minutes away. We get our pork from them. And we have one farmer this way, 5 minutes, who we get our beef from.
And it's worth it. Like my neighbor's he just got scheduled for back surgery, and he asked me if I could keep him plowed out. And I said, that's what neighbors do. They ended up giving me money for diesel, which probably will pay for all my plowing combined. But I want to keep them happy. The happier my neighbors are, the more they will leave me alone and to my own devices.
Yeah. Oh, I share over if we have extra vegetables in the summer, they love seeing me coming because I'll bring them. And because I agree with you, good fences make good neighbors. Well, other things make good neighbors too. And we are lucky. We're not like we were in the PMQs, like in the military housing. We're not like, we can't touch one. Like we could reach out a window and touch the other house if we really wanted to. We're far enough apart, but just like I said, the older we're getting,
yeah. I got to the point where, and I joke about this, but it happens a lot. I've done my chores in my boxers before.
David too.
Yeah.
And we have
neighbors. They've got that meme that says, if you can't pee off your porch, your neighbor's too close.
Yep.
Well, if anybody complains, I'll just have them arrested for trespassing, because if they can see me,
yeah. I mean, in the back here, we're very private. Nobody can see in the back here. We're great, but out front, where I have my garden, because I rather have food than a lawn. And our down back, what David calls our back 40, which is hysterical because we're only on 3 acres, but he calls it the back 40. It's the farm kid in him, because David actually grew up on a farm. It's very bad down there. It's a lot of sand because the old owners literally brought in beach sand. I don't know why. I don't know what his plan was, but it's just tons of it. And the bugs are so bad down there. We couldn't grow anything that second year we tried. We ended up saying, okay, fine. Everything's just going to have to be in the front. I don't care.
Yeah.
And more people stop and come and ask us, can I ask you how you built that structure for your vegetable garden? And of course, I love that, right? So I'm like, sure. Yeah. And I go out and we talk and I show them everything. But we never thought we would move. We thought this was going to be our forever home, but our son is done high school. He's in grade 10, so he's got a little over 2 years. We're considering going back down east and finding something with at least 10 acres and much more rural.
Yeah. It's hard. I told Wendy when we moved, because I hate moving. My sister, my oldest sister,
I hate it too, especially where the military won't move us this time. Yeah. This time will be all on us.
And she loves moving. She moves all the time. And I kept telling her, This is the last time I'm moving you. This is the last time I'm moving you. And then the last time I helped her load the trucks when she moved to Florida, she said, well, you're moving Brian, her husband, you're moving him this time. Asparagus for the Sandy area. That might work well.
Really? The only thing about that is we might never see it if we plan on leaving in the next 2 or 3 years. Cause right. I think asparagus is like a 3-year commitment before you see it.
Yeah.
And yes, Barb, I do. I live in Ontario, Canada. But I will say I do have, just back to the subject about making money. I do have a couple of, I'm not going to say what they are because I'm still working on them, but I will be announcing it. I'm really excited. One of them I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And now that I have my YouTube channel and my website, I feel like I can do it. So I do have one. I have two things that are going to be coming out that I'm hoping are going to help because we're building a whole new garden setup this year. David's fault because David's the one who's decided to do it for me. And now he's got me dreaming about it. So now he's got to follow through. So I'm hoping it's going to help pay for that because wood's not cheap.
No,
nothing's cheap anymore. They say inflation went down here in December, yet groceries went up 11%. Well, then how the heck did inflation go down?
Yeah,
that makes no sense.
Or they say inflation's only up 4%, but you're paying 123% more for bread. That's
inflation. I don't get their math. I don't get their math, but the prices are not going down. The little bit I looked around with Grace on Monday, I'm like, holy moly! Like, I'm glad. I've got to say, Tracy, this is the second year I'm doing that pantry challenge with Three Rivers. The stuff I don't have to buy when we are looking, I said, David, we don't have to buy this. We don't have to get this because I've either canned it, froze it, dehydrated it. It's amazing. Like, I really worked my buns off last year, and now I'm reaping that.
That is an unforeseen revenue stream it's not a direct, it's not putting money in your hand, but it's allowing you to keep money in your hand because one of these seeds, let's see here. One of these bean seeds, has the potential to create over the course of a season, 50 beans, maybe a pint of beans, a quart of beans, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
And
even though they've gone up, there's still a better bang for your buck. To spend all this on the seeds, or you spend it on one meal of green beans. Well, the seeds are going to give you many, 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 many meals.
And you know what they're eating. You know the soil because you're paying attention to that. It's not full of preservatives and chemicals and estrogen, and everything else that is can be blamed for everything. But they're healthy, they're good. And then once you learn, you start beans, green beans, wax beans, black beans, they're very easy to save the seeds if you get heirloom variety.
I saved a lot last year. I still bought a lot, but I saved a lot because I know I want to double my beans because I can tell just by how many jars we're going through. I'm like, okay, now I know how many, because I used to always freeze my beans, but then I learned pressure canning. That was one of my goals last year. So this was my first year canning a lot of my beans. And we've always bought canned beans, but they literally taste like I just picked them. We had some last night, and I'm like, and David, who's not a big, huge green bean person, he'll eat them. The green and yellow beans, he'll eat them, but because he knows they're good for him. But even he's like, geez, they taste like you just picked these today. I said, I know.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, yeah, it is. Just how much money we figure already. Well, we haven't hardly bought any, so we've saved so far over already $300 on groceries this month by not buying what we normally would be buying the last 3 weeks. So we are going to go into February. It's going to change a little bit into February just because we will start running out of some things, unfortunately. But not as much as I think. So that's good.
We'll see where you have the talent to cook the good stuff, the stews, and I've got boiled dinners in the pantry in quart jars, and that Wendy did, and some of the stuff I'm finding I need to add a little spices, but I think she did that on purpose so that
yes,
it would taste
because when you
fresher.
can them, they intensify too. So
Right.
if you put them in and then can them, then you're gonna be like, whoa, this is really salty, or whoa, this is really spicy. So I tend not to add. The only thing I did change, I did add salt my second batch of vegetables because I didn't my first batch, and whoa, you can't add enough salt when you're eating them. Like they just, so I just added some Himalayan sea salt. I just added a small amount to the next batch, and what a difference that made! All the difference.
Yeah.
But because they do get pretty bland in the canner.
And that is, I can look at that as a revenue stream that's just as legitimate, because by doing the pantry challenge this month, I am literally saving. I'm eating healthier, number one, because I have gone to the bachelor's diet and I need to get out of that. But I'm eating healthier, and I'm eating full meals with the beef stew and the venison stew, and I've got stuff back there. But I am saving all that money. I still have money. I mean, we're 19 days into January, and I've still got money left over from my shopping, from my grocery budget, because I budget everything out. That is one thing. Well, I don't budget everything out, but all my bills, at the risk of all my bills are written down, budgeted out, because you know what? I might have to live out of my pantry. I might have to do something, but my bills are going to be paid.
I mean, that's like us. We just found out that the darn hydrometer, our electrical meter, stopped talking to the home office. It looks like sometime in October-ish, looking at my bills. And we didn't know. I had no idea, because one, it's on the 4th page. Well, good Lord, one, I don't get a physical bill anymore. It all comes through an email. Mm-hmm. This is partly my fault. I only look at the first 2 pages of the bill. I see what, and that's it. And then here in Ontario, normally they give you an estimate for 2 months. And then the 3rd month is a real bill. So whatever the difference from those estimates, if they owe you or if you owe them, whatever. So even if I'd seen estimate, I just would have assumed it was that. But apparently the estimate in quotation mark in the parentheses means different than the normal estimate. When I called them, I said, how is someone supposed to know that the estimate in parentheses is different than the normal estimate you normally put on a bill? That's ludicrous, because nowhere on that bill does it tell you. So we might end up having a wall up of a bill next month.
Right up top, tell me how much I owe you. If there's a problem with that, tell me that there's a problem with that so we can get it worked out. But I don't.
Why did it take so
long? Yeah, I'm not looking forward to giving someone money for a good or service. So if you want it, you have to tell me that I owe it.
I mean, even the guy who was here, he doesn't even agree. He said they don't explain this well at all, that it stopped talking. He goes, I can't tell you, so he showed me how to read it. I will say, I don't think I hope I'm reading it right. I don't think we're going to have a wallop of a bill, because it looks like they might have actually overestimated us.
That's good.
So I'm hoping, because I am I hate to use this word because Nazi is not a nice word, but the family calls me the light Nazi because I normally, if I'm in here, this wouldn't be on, but because I'm on a live, I have a light, and they do have the kitchen light on, but my husband and son are in the kitchen using it. But ever since I would drill it into their heads, my kids, from the time they were 2, if you're not in a room, the TV, the lights are off.
It drives me batty because I live off grid. Light and electricity is a finite resource. I have 800 amp hours that I can use before I either need the sun to come out, which I have no control of, or I have to buy gas. Gas is way
Right.
too expensive. It's like right
Yep.
now, if you look behind me, everything should be off there.
Yep.
I've got the light on over my head. I have a ring light behind me, and then I use this screen here where I'm watching the actual YouTube thing, which is sometimes why I lose my train of thought because I
So I'm
look over.
just reading James' comment. I do it all the time.
Lynn
And
sounds
I'll
like
hear, hey!
I'm still in the room. Yes. I was talking to my daughter about that. She used to come around and I'd have a glass of iced tea or a can of soda that was still half full. And she would pick up the glass of iced tea and go dump it, wash the glass, and then I would have to get up and I'd use the same glass.
No, I was worried about our hydro bill or our light bill being high this winter because they approved a hike for them. So we went old school and we don't run the dryer. We run the dryer for sheets because I can't hang them out this time of year on the line. And we dry our towels again, because though I have hung them up, I went and bought 2 indoor clothes racks. And then David hung up a curtain rod between our kitchen and our storeroom, we call it. And we hang shirt, and it's easier to put clothes away too, because I told everyone, all your stuff you hang up in your closet will already be on a hanger, and you just take it, put it in the hanger, and bring down the empties to me. And I think that's helped our light bill not running, because the dryer is one of the worst energy suckers you can get.
So anything that heats, I don't think microwaves work that way, but like coffee pots, toasters, any kind of electric heat is done by a dead short. It uses massive amounts of energy. And so like blow dryers, that's I was talking with my friend Matt.
I remember my father used to complain about the blow dryer when I was younger. We use it here maybe twice a month, and that's maybe.
I look at it this way. My dad used to make us kids get a crew cut every time he wanted it, and I would fight tooth and nail because I loved my long hair. And now I just wish I could find a decent barber. I cut my own hair, and
we stopped. I think Aiden stopped crew cuts when he got to be about 10. He said he wanted to start having, and we said fine. I mean, Aiden had issues too, because with his Tourette's, going to a barber was hard for him between the clippers, and so sometimes it might take us a couple of days to get a haircut done.
With the price of it. The place in Walmart, which I guess that's more of a hairdresser, $10, $11 to cut my hair.
$35 here, Tracy. $35 to $45 for Aiden to go in and get just shaped, because he's got curly hair, so it's looking longer than it is. That's why David he shaves his all down number 1 now with the shaver. He's still, even though the military is allowing them to grow their hair out now, because we have a kinder, gentler army now. That's another live. He's still old school. David's still the suck it up buttercup generation army. So he's still because it drives him crazy, because he's not paying, like he said, we haven't paid for his haircuts in probably 20 years, because he said, I am not paying $40 for them to shave my head. It takes 5 minutes. It's crazy. And then you usually give them a tip. So that's another. I mean, it's one of the reasons I'm growing my hair out again, because one, I can't find a decent person to go to. Every time we find one, they move. And I don't. It's like $50 for me to go get and I'm like, if I get it cut short, that's like every 6 weeks I have to go get it cut. No way, I'm not. I'm not. That is $100 I could be spending on Homestead stuff.
J&B says, have either of you used the single solar bulbs? They have a hanger attached. You bring it in at the end of the day, and they're supposed to be, yes. Wendy and I, before we got the system that we have now, which is it has a 1 foot by 1 foot square solar panel, and it has 3 lights with a max of 200 lumens per light. We had those single. In fact, I still use them in the bedroom from time to time instead of turning on the main light. They come with the little square things, and they are awesome. In the chicken coop, I have one, and there's a video on it. Please use my Amazon link for it. But
yes, Tracy needs. Do you need another
I need
sale?
3.
And you need 3, and we don't count. We can't do it until you are qualified. From what I understand, once you get qualified, you can start using the international link, but you have to be qualified first.
Well, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. It would just be too expensive with the shipping alone. To ask you guys in Canada to order.
I have Amazon Prime, so my Amazon Prime is good for, and it's good for all the Amazons from what I understand. But but we still can't help you until you get qualified.
Yeah, but that light has.
He wants you to share the link for them.
Okay. Yes, I will.
You should be able to do it right there. Yeah. Put it right up.
Let's see here if I can find it. Because it should be in my Amazon orders, returns and orders here. But and that is an
announcement here too. You're talking about the conference. I have surprises for all of you. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to see you guys in May. I do. I have surprise for all of you. I'll be giving I'll be showing. You'll find out Friday night at the cottage there. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Cool.
Yeah, so those sound cool. So I'm ordering the light bulbs. They're not solar, but you charge them, and then you can put them in any lamp you want, and you don't have to have an outlet to plug your lamp in.
Oh, cool.
So those are pretty cool. Yeah, because the people who built our house, they didn't think about where you might need outlets. So I need one by our nightstand in the bedroom. And so I'm like, I need a lamp there. So I found them. You just charge them. Once they're all charged, they have like a little box that you can hide like down in your lamp, and you put it in, and boom, you can turn them on like a normal lamp without having an outlet. So gotta love technology.
Yeah.
3 months and a half before the conference.
Yes, I'm getting excited. There is my lighting for in the house. And that has 3 lights, and it can be used outside also.
That's cool.
Let's see here. And that is all encompassing. I bought another one because it in the dark days of winter, I can actually plug that in and get it I can plug it in and recharge it from a cell phone charger. I love anything that works with a cell phone charger.
Yeah. I will say another way too that I've helped finance my homesteading. So last year I had a lot of starts left over. A lot. I had more bell pepper plants than I had room. And then what really makes me mad is 60 of them that I planted in a certain section with organic dirt I bought all died. Quite suspiciously, quite frankly. I won't be getting dirt from them again. Anyway, apparently a lot of people had a lot of problems with dirt that was supposed to be organic and end up being contaminated. And I think that's what happened to us too. I don't think we were. And it's weird because it's from people all over different parts of the states and stuff. But anyway, I ended up having a lot left over. And I thought, I wonder if I could sell these. Holy cow, did I ever? People were, because they're organic, right? The dirt I had in my soil, my starts in were not the same soil I bought. This was like bulk dirt we bought for outside. They were organic. The seeds were organic. I didn't use any pesticides on them or anything while they were growing. So I was able to tell people that. And people said, do you have like tomatoes? And I said, unfortunately, this is all I got. So that got me thinking. So for this year, I'm actually going to try and sell some starts. I'm going to start here in the next month or so, getting out my shelving and everything. And I'm going to start and see if I can help basically pay for my plants and dirt and seeds and all that stuff. And yeah, because people are like, we'd rather buy from you than some, grocery chain or a big nursery. You're right here, like literally down the road from us. And so David's building me like a little stand that I'm going to put at the end, and on the weekends and stuff, I'm going to go set up my plants and hope that, maybe. And then in the fall, I'm really excited. If my pumpkins work this year, if I get pumpkins like I have, we're going to set up a pumpkin patch on the front lawn this year. And I'm going to have the different sizes for different prices. And we're going to set up every weekend in October and see if and then that way the kids can still kind of come pick like what they want, but not off the, and they'll still be all set up so they can come look them over and pick what they want. And I think I'll be a lot cheaper because I can't get over the price of pumpkins here. To get a pumpkin to carve it is insane. We saw people walking out to their car because it's the same place where we go apple picking. People were walking back to their cars with 2 pumpkins or sometimes 3, depending on what kind and size, and they were spending over $60 for something. Wow. You're going to go home and carve. And at least me, I mean, I didn't buy any because I grew my own. But at least I can give my pumpkins to my chickens. I can break down my pumpkins and freeze it, which is what I did. I pureed it and freezed it, and I saved all the seeds. So, and I did buy a couple of pumpkins later when they were a lot cheaper because they had to get rid of them for ones I couldn't find, like the Blue Hubbard squash. I couldn't get Blue Hubbard squash seeds anywhere last year. Every time I tried, they would sell out so fast. I bought one from the organic place we go to. I knew that she's only grown them with no pesticides. I used it. I broke it down. I pureed it to make with my pumpkin pies, and I saved all the seeds. And I got a lot more seeds in that one squash than I would have gotten a packet. So, I'm looking forward to that because I wanted Blue Hubbard so bad last year, and I just could not get the seeds.
I just posted the link for the timed solar chicken coop lights. I got the one, all I could find was the one for the what do you call it? The double. That's, I think it's like $22 for 2 of them. Which isn't bad.
Good, actually. Yeah.
Considering I bought this one, I clicked on this one and it said that web page couldn't be found or something to that effect.
Oh, there you go.
And so I had to search it out again, but I've had this since 2017. And
geez,
I mean,
you can't, yeah. I just seen Mary Lynn was saying how the price of her shelves. I noticed that too. The grow lights I bought last year, I didn't pay that much for them that they're on there for now. The weed barrier, holy moly, is that gone up?
Yeah.
And I need a lot of it because we're like starting fresh this year. So that's kind of depressing. We're going to probably be about $300 in the hole from weed barrier, which I know in the long run will pay off. And it's the kind we're getting, like the rubberized kind that you have to like burn a hole in to put the plant. So it will last us a lot longer because we've actually spent a fortune on the stuff that just breaks down every year. And then we have to like.
All the emphasis is on getting rid of anything oil, coal, or petroleum based. Rubber, plastic, everything is rubber, coal, and oil based. So when they stop, when they cut that short, when they stop producing that, like certain countries, superpower countries have done, I won't mention any names, America, but and I are American, I can say that. Actually, I'm more American than I am American. But anyway, but that raises the prices of that stuff. I had to buy the fabric to run under the driveway, the new driveway to the barn, and that was hugely more expensive I bought twice as much for half the price when I put in my first driveway.
I don't see the cat.
What? Oh, you want to see the cat?
Is the cat behind you? I guess Mary Lynn saw it.
Yeah, he's laying down here. He's got this game that he plays of Make Daddy Mad. He'll sit here and I'll have my cell phones plugged in right here, and there's like a pile right now. I've got like one of my lights charging here, and but he'll take and he'll grab the wires with his claws, and he'll want to chew on them, and that's not good. And, but
for him or you,
he knows he's going to get my attention. Oh yeah, I had my this is my audio recorder. I put a nice sticker on it so I wouldn't, because I kept trying to make calls on it and it's not activated anymore, but I use a voice recorder on it with my little lapel mic. And when I was walking over here to turn on the light, I stepped on my mic because it was on the floor. I don't know how it got on the floor. Do you, Ricky?
Oh.
But that there are so many revenue streams that you can do. Like I said, I just monetized my blog, kind of. If you don't, because 99 cents a month, that might not seem like a big deal, but it can be, depending on your situation.
If you get 500 people who pay that,
absolutely,
that's not pennies.
So I have the zero, the free level for my blog, and you'll probably get 1 or 2 blogs a month from that. And then I have the 99 cent one where you will get you'll get 1 blog a week, possibly special videos. I do have he's doing it right now. I have the Handsteaders Facebook page. I was trying out a couple years ago to try to get community built. I didn't know, all I needed was Remy to get community, because and so I'm gonna
it was such a shock to me to find other people who in 2021 or 2020 or whatever that didn't think what I was doing was weird. I'm like, oh my Lord, there's a lot of us like out there. And again, I think that's another reason the prices of some of this stuff has gone up, because on one hand, it's good because more people are learning and they're realizing, hey, I want to be, a little less reliant on some things, especially the way things have gone the last couple of years. But it's bad on the other way for people like us who've been doing this for, decades. All of a sudden we're like, wait a minute, we've been doing this a long time, and now we're having to pay 3 times as much for this stuff.
And the thing is they're already preparing the way to limit it here in the States. The FDA or the CDC, I'm not sure which one, came out with a report. If you own chicken or poultry, do not hold or pet or love on them. They are not pets, because the avian flu, we don't want you to get sick. Well, somewhere along the line, government decided that they were supposed to keep us safe. They're not. Stupid should hurt. I'm in full agreement. I want to make that shirt so bad, but an American Homestead has it, and their stupid should hurt t-shirt. There'd be a lot less stupid out there if stupid still hurt. But they're supposed to keep us free to keep ourselves safe.
I will say I pet my chickens, but I don't kiss them. Like, they were showing like people like were picking them up and kissing them. Well, I love my chickens. I'm not kissing them. Just not.
I've seen them literally. They will, when it's really dry outside or like under the woodshed, they will literally be scraping, scratching, and they'll make a hole. They'll poop in it, which gets covered with the dry dust. Then they'll scratch that, and that gets mixed in the dust. And then they'll roll in it and kick it all up on themselves, and they'll dust in it.
Yeah. I'm not kissing my chickens.
If I have to pick up my chicken or my rooster to take care of them, maybe spray a little blue coat on where chicken is raw from being ridden, whatever. Yes, we ride our chickens down here.
At least the roosters do.
If you don't believe me, look up chicken saddles on Google chicken saddles. They're a real thing.
I see them. People, I know people are always sending me because almost every winter somebody shares the thing for the little chicken hats to put on their combs, and they're real. There's a pattern for them, or the little sweaters that you can make for over. And I'm like, A, this is stupid. Like David said, like the chicken A is gonna keep and B, you want to kill your chicken? Okay. It all started because over in England, my neighbors are from England. They came to Canada a couple of years ago. They've got chickens over in the what did he call it? Where the guard is.
London?
In London, but where
the castle.
Is it the tower? The tower. I think it is. The London Tower, and they've got chickens, I guess, in the belfry. Is that what? I don't know, but and I guess they were so stressed. These chickens were so stressed that they were like completely naked, and it was getting cooler. So these ladies got together and made them jumpers, what they call sweaters over there, and put sweaters on them because they had to, because they were dying because they had no protection. And I think that's what started the whole chicken sweater craze. That was a reason. There was a reason they had to do it for those chickens.
Yeah.
If you don't go putting sweaters on your chickens, please.
Number one, there are supplements that you can buy to put in the feed if your chickens are going into molt. And I do not suggest messing up your chicken's natural processes. If they go into molt, it's because they need to. But you can put, I think it's keratin or something like that in their feed to help them get through the molt quicker in cold weather.
We give them mealworms.
Yeah,
we just give them some extra mealworms to help them protein.
But if you have a chicken with feathers on its back and you put a sweater on that, you are compressing those feathers. The way a chicken keeps warm is they fluff out those feathers. It traps air and it makes insulation, just like inside your walls. Yeah. And one chicken puts out the same amount of heat as a 10-watt light bulb.
And it's why you shouldn't put heaters in your coops either. Our coop's not heated. You want how many people have lost their chickens in their coops to fires because of the heaters in their coops? Your chickens don't need it. One, make sure you're getting a breed that is good for your zone. Like the chickens we get are made for colder weather. But they, that's why we do the deep litter method. That's why we don't clean the coop out all winter. We just put fresh shavings on top and it's toasty in there. When I opened the door yesterday morning, I'm like, I put my hand in. I'm like, I could feel the difference because there's 8 of them in there. So I know, if only we could harness it, huh?
We need a video of James chasing a chicken around with a plug. Hold still, you little bugger.
I don't light my coop either. Like I don't have light, like those poultry farms do, where the poor chickens live their whole lives in a windowless,
I do have,
and that's why,
I do have the timed coop light, but that stays on for 2 hours. Once it gets dark, it automatically turns on for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But they're still getting the dark.
I mean, that's different though. I mean, like we have like lights too, solar lights that help us see, because it's dark at 4:00 and it's still not bright enough until almost 7:30 in the morning. So that's for our benefit. But like my coop's not all lit up all 24 hours a day or.
There are cycles that nature needs.
They need it. There's a reason they have it. You probably should mess with it. Have we not learned anything? Right.
With the chickens, that the happier your chickens are, the more and higher quality eggs you will get. if you pamper your chickens, it's for you. Your chickens, this time of year, I was looking at the store trying to find a flock block for my chickens, not because I want to give them a treat, but because there's nutrients in there, in that molasses and honey and the seeds and stuff that's in there that they need.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I just saw David walk behind you and I thought it was behind you. Oh,
No, that's where'd you go? That's the other half of Bucket List Homestead. But yeah, no, I make my own. I had extra bird seed and I had a lot of beef tallow, and we don't like it. We much prefer the pork lard over the beef tallow. And I'm like, what am I going to do with all this? Well, I'm making suet for the chickens. Yeah. You know, just melt it and throw in the sunflower seeds. And that's just because we got cold for a while. And I just like to give them a little extra protein to help with the cold. But everything they need's in their feed for the most part. It is.
Yeah. If you're getting a quality feed from a quality source. Now my brother would buy from a chain store. He would buy the feed, the lay pellets, because it had the calcium already added. Mine does have a little calcium in it, but it's not a whole lot. So I offered them the oyster shells as well.
Me too. We do too.
He didn't have to because it was already in his feed.
The organic feed that we get doesn't have hardly any, and not enough for what they need. Yeah. And honestly, we bought that calcium bag a while ago, and we still have. It takes it's not a lot of money. It takes them along because each chicken knows how much they need to eat, and sometimes they don't need to eat any.
And it works.
And I will say, I add apple cider vinegar to the water. Yep. I do that to help them with any parasites and immune boosting. And I do add a couple things to their feed, just like some oats this time of year to help with, keep them warmer. Some cinnamon, which is also known to be an autoimmune booster, and garlic for the same. And just, I just add that in there for them just to make them. Good night.
Yeah.
I honestly, every day I wake up and I say to David, I can't believe like this is ours. Like even I wonder if it will ever get old. But and every time we cross something off our list that we've been wanting to get done, I'm like, I can't believe we did that. Like we did it. So that's pretty cool.
And this year it's going to be all new. I have high hopes because I redid the one side of the garden this fall, and I'm going to be redoing the other side of the garden this spring. Just putting in more of the topsoil manure mix. I've got a couple areas I'm going to extend the garden. I'm going to start gardens there, and it's going to be really, really cool if it works. I am one of those people who I do not have a green thumb, but I'm trying to make one. As best I can because I need it. That is your vegetables, your fruits and vegetables are a revenue stream. They, you were saying just in what you have in your pantry, you saved like $300 already this month. That's amazing.
And I always think, I'm sorry, she was bugging my, that's I have thought about maybe setting up a little veggie stand with flowers too as another revenue. But the thing is, I always think, you know what? I'm going to can those extra vegetables. I never seem to plant. I need to maybe have like a market garden where I just plant things I know I'm going to sell. I don't know if that will happen this year because we've got high hopes for just our garden with the new. If the weather holds, we're hoping to start tearing down all the old structures next month if the weather stays mild. And start at least getting that part taken care of. But I know you can give them your eggshells. You should only give your chickens their eggshells too. Like don't be giving them any other eggshells. And I know a lot of people say this isn't true, but in my experience, when I've tried that, they've gone after their eggs. So I don't do that. I stop doing that. And people say that's not true. Well, then someone needs to tell my chickens because
The only way I would do that is to grind them real fine and mix it in their feed.
yeah,
Because,
yeah, I've done the crushed eggshell, but I use that for my garden. Like I got
Yeah.
a big mason jar full of crushed eggshell that I never even used all of it last year. So I'll be using a lot more, but my plan is to do starter plants, and I've thought about selling seeds too because I saved way more than I needed. Like you ought to see the bags of pumpkin seeds alone.
but that's okay because now the farther you go down the line, the less germination rate you'll have, but you'll also, hi Gene, welcome.
Hi, Jean.
But you'll have a less of a germination rate, but you can still have germination down the line.
Yes. I've planted seeds that were quite a few. They worked.
I'm excited. I believe somebody sent me seeds. I think it was Angie and Mike from Me and You Acres.
See, I didn't think we could send you seeds. I didn't think we could get them.
Well, I think they ordered them from the States because they come down into the States once in a while.
Okay.
And Thor, Darren sent me these, and they made it through. Yeah, post.
I wonder if it's because they have a web. I don't know if it's because they have a website. Do they sell? But and even then, you can do it. Like
Right.
Steph and Chris said, there is a way to do it, but you have to go through a bit of a thing, I guess, to get certified to sell them or whatever. And I think maybe Darren and Brigitte are. So that might be why. Because I know just for me to send you seeds, or like Tanya wanted to send me seeds last summer, and they told her at you can't. They're going to Canada.
I don't tell them what's in it. I
have to fill it out. Well, I mean, I could lie and say, oh no, this is what's in it. But they make me fill out a customs thing. I hate it because when I send presents to my parents, it's right on the package. What's in the package?
Yeah. Well, I just put the stuff, if it's an envelope, I just drop it in the box, and I've never had anything sent back. But yeah, she sent me, M.I. Gardner found a display case that had seed packets in it that was like 80 to 100 years old. The type of seeds, the giant tomatoes, were extinct. They were one of the last companies to propagate that cultivar of tomatoes, and he took that package and he got like 2 or 3 plants, 2 or 3 seeds out of the whole pack to germinate, and then he just kept going and going, and so now he's able to sell them. And
that's cool.
So it's like I'm so excited to see how I do with extinct tomatoes.
You have to definitely do video on that so we can see how they do. Yeah, that would be cool.
And then I want to say it was rareseeds.com, which is they're down south a ways. I can't think of the name of the seed nursery, but they sell, there's a watermelon. It's like a crook-necked watermelon. That this guy, he was one of those archaeologists that didn't really pay attention to the rules so much. And he found a clay pot. When he opened the clay pot, it was full of melon seeds. So he planted them and came out with these watermelons with crook necks. Now you could use them as gourd shells, dry them out and to carry water, or it was just
1.5 feet of snow. Good Lord.
Yeah,
we were supposed to we are supposed to get hit too. I don't know what it's doing out because I can't see outside anymore. It was freezing rain, which I would take 1.5 feet of snow any day over this freezing rain yuck that we've had the last few days. Because I slid down to the chicken coop yesterday. Like literally, I thought I was I'm like, that's it, I'm falling, but I managed to stay up.
Yeah. I was planning on taking the tractor and uh, moving some logs that Trevor and I had dropped that are now plain as day. You can see them, and some brush and stuff. But then it's just warm enough that it's raining and wet and very slippery.
Yep.
And I don't want to tear it all up. I'm going to wait till it solidifies.
I'm just worried that because last year I called last year the year of weird weather because we had snow and we literally had snow in June and 3 days later it was 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Like we had no spring really at all.
Yeah.
And the nights would be cold though. Like we would go down into like 50 degrees even in July, which is great for sleeping. Not so great when you're worried about your bell pepper plants who don't like really going below 60, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was, I was exhausted last year. Like, because between all the watering we had to do, the covering of things to protect them from the colds that were happening at night. And it just got like, I literally remember crying one night in the garden because I was just like, you know, I don't mind hard work, but this is like it's almost like soul crushing. Like your morale just gets so, you know. And I had, you know, people don't always show them, but there's a lot of failures with homesteading. And I had a bit of my pear trees that I was so excited to finally get last year. They're dead.
Oh man!
I noticed in the fall that we were covering them to protect them for the winter, and I stumbled a little bit, and I hit it, and it fell right out of the ground. I'm like, wait a minute! I pulled it out; it was completely dead.
Oh,
so, man. And those were $60 a piece.
Now is that something? Do they have a warranty maybe on them? I know.
I reached out to them. I haven't heard from them yet. I was concerned when they sent them because they weren't supposed to send them until the second week of May, until after Mother's Day. They sent them. It was still April when they sent them because they were bare root ones. And and I reached out to them and I said, I can't plant these yet. I have snow still on my ground out here. So they said, oh, no, it's okay. And they told me, and I did everything they told me. And when I was planting them, I was like, I don't know if you guys are really.
Yeah.
And it just, I like cried. I literally was out there and I'm like, are you? And I like just cried because
it's hard.
It's $120 too. Like, I mean,
yeah. And
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. Especially when you're talking, it's $120 for a future. You're investing it in a future harvest. Many hopefully future harvests, and then to see that fall over on you, that hurts because you're like, man, I was planning, I had this in mind. I have our orchard. We do have an orchard planted. An orchard is over 4 trees, so you know. I have an orchard planted.
Oh, we have an orchard.
Yeah,
we have 6.
But
6 apples and 2 cherry.
Yeah, we have 2 Asian pear, a peach, or wait, no, the peach tree didn't make it. A plum, 2 apple trees, and 2 Bartlett pear. And then we have another apple tree and another pear tree that have been in pots for the last year that probably won't make it the winter. I don't know.
Oh, it sets me back a whole nother year, right? Because these were dwarf variety. So I would have been able to possibly, I mean, not pick a ton, but we might have been able to get our first couple in 3 years. Well, now they're dead. So if I do it again this year, which I don't know if I'm gonna, I really don't. That sets us back another, it's going to be 3 years. I am excited because this is our 3rd year or 4th year with our apple trees, and they're dwarf variety too. And we could see just a couple, but we could see a couple apples this year. And I am just like, the whole street will know if we have any.
Yeah. I got blossoms on the Asian pears. And what I might do is there's a
beautiful
a store called Olney's that sells, they're a garden thing. And I might go down there with a Q-tip and find, couple Ziploc bags and a Q-tip and just walk around and, okay, Bartlett pear, take that Q-tip and get some pollen on it, put it in the Ziploc bag, bring it home and self-pollinate.
Yeah. James, I will say I second in my gardener. Not only is he so knowledgeable, but his prices are so stinking reasonable. Like he didn't raise his prices at all because, like he said, they don't do a lot of the fancy packaging. They don't do advertising. They prefer to put their money back into the people who work for them by giving them benefits. They were able to offer their 15 people that work for them in their business benefits this past year. And that's amazing to me. And I'd rather support someone like that, right? And his seeds are amazing. And like, I bought quite a few in fall because he had them on clearance for $1 a package. And when I thought, oh, there'll be like 5 seeds. They are full packets of seeds. Like I couldn't believe it. So, and they will ship to Canada. And if you spend $20, it's free shipping. Well, I can spend $20 on seeds like that.
Yeah, I was looking. Walmart has seeds out, but they're all hybrids. I'm not being able to find the heirloom seeds at Walmart so much anymore.
We get them at PV, TSC. I notice they'll get a lot of the heirloom, but they also carry West Coast Seeds, which is an online seed store out here in British Columbia, and they're now carrying their actual seeds in the store. So that's pretty cool. And their packets are biodegradable, which are cool because I try to remember to pick up my packets. But I don't always. So I know these ones go right in the ground.
Well, yeah, I remember we would take a stick and put it in it when I was a kid. We'd take a stick and put it at the end of the row and put the seed packet. Pa would open the seed packet right on the thing. Yeah.
I still do it until I can come back and at least get a chance because I always go out and forget my marker or whatever. But this year I'm making garden markers with my Cricut so the vinyl won't fade. Because you can buy a special UV marker, I guess Annie was telling me, that won't fade in the sun. And she said they're a little bit expensive, but I mean, you probably have them for a couple of years.
How many times have I gone out and picked up I get these nice big plastic label things and I pick it up and it's washed off.
Or faded. Okay. And you're like, red what? That could be a red pepper. That could be a red tomato. So, yeah. But I mean, just to kind of go back, the dream, we always laugh because we say if we won the lottery, we would still homestead. We would just homestead like movie stars.
Yeah, absolutely. The things that I would be able to do, I would mix homesteading with the Mr. Beast altruism. Instead of, I'd go into, I don't know, Home Depot or one of the big, huge garden centers and somebody in there that looked like, I'd say, hey, here's a credit card. If you run, if you make it under the amount of this credit card, everything you buy is yours, and I would really,
there's so much. We definitely would. We always say we donate to Wounded Warriors in a heartbeat because that's an important charity that we believe in. And and I say like we would absolutely do homestead. We would definitely buy that house. We'd build a house because then I could build what I wanted, all one level for 30 years down the road. You got to think of stairs.
Yeah.
And we'd buy a lot more property, but David definitely would retire completely. And we would probably get that dairy cow. And then we would get, turkeys. And I'd love to have ducks again. I miss my ducks just because they were so funny. Like Gracie said, Mommy, they always look like they're on fire when they're running. Like they're running, because they look like they're rushing to get somewhere. And to watch them swim in the pool and stuff, right? Like we would have so much fun, but they're so stinking messy.
Yeah.
And if I do it again, they'll have their own enclosure and everything. I'd separate them from the chickens because the poor chickens, the coop would be frozen in the winter on ice because they'd spill all the water at night, and they were just. But I miss duck eggs for baking. Oh,
Yeah.
There's nothing like the duck eggs for baking.
They're
amazing.
My son-in-law was telling me, and then Darren was talking about it with somebody on one of his lives, I think it was, that how the ducks they'll fill their beak full of water and just blow it all over and make
all
a mess.
over.
Everything should be wet.
Yep. And let's face it too, they're the other end is not. I mean, chickens are greatest, but ducks
are bigger. Yep.
and it can move.
And that is coming back to the revenue streams. I believe it's Lynn is playing around with the fertilizer aspect.
I told her she needs to bring some in May because I will buy some from her because I've thought about getting rabbits just to have it for the fertilizer.
Yeah,
literally, because it's a great and where you can use it like as soon as it comes out of them. You don't have to wait like chicken. You can just, and that, I mean, my friend Tanya, she uses her rabbits too for fertilizer, for their garden. And we have a lot of wild rabbits around here.
A lot of what?
Wild rabbits.
Because
there's a lot of wild rabbit poop. This one here always seems to find it. Huh. You want to get down now? Can I set you down?
Oh.
Yeah. It's supposed to be my daughter's dog.
Yeah, isn't that the way it works?
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because Thorhaven Farm, if Lynn or Marie-Lynn, if one of you guys want to throw up, or Darren even, want to throw up the link to Darren's live, that would be cool.
Gene. Yes, they do. They started selling it last year because the people who live in that area asked them, "Hey, we'd be willing," and they thought they were crazy, and then they sold out every weekend. They took it with them.
Yeah. And
literally, she's selling a baggie. Mary Lynn, I think, was talking about selling a good amount. But I'm serious, Mary Lynn. I don't know if you want to travel with it, but I absolutely would get a few bags from you.
For the most part, you can dry it. It'll dry right out.
Yeah.
Easy enough. It doesn't really stink. Darren's live stream, Marie-Lynn posted down there. Thank you guys for coming. And guys, don't just depend on waiting for YouTube ads. Go ahead and monetize now. Find ways, whether it's through affiliate marketing, selling stuff, making stuff. Just being a homesteader, you have skills that are very marketable. You can make things. I think Brigitte from Thorhaven Farm, she does
amazing work.
And she does it from scratch. The loom. That is just awesome.
I am thinking about dabbling now that I've become totally obsessed with sourdough. I'm even actually thinking about how can I make money off of this? My brain never stops, Tracy. I'm exhausted.
I want to learn how to start that because I'm going to kill it. I mean, it's just a living. I mean, it's not like the chickens that you hear the rooster crowing and, oh, wow, I need to go out and feed them. It kind of
the main thing is I think if you have to set a reminder, right? Yeah. I even did that, I did it, and now it's just gotten to be muscle memory. I wake up at 7 a.m. I grab him, I feed him, and then I didn't feed him tonight because I'm putting him in the fridge because he exploded all inside my oven last night because he got so big.
Oh no.
So I said, okay, I'm slowing down now. I'm not using it every day. So I'm nervous because I'm like, I hate to mess with the good thing, but I don't need you every day anymore. So he's going in the fridge tonight, but it took a little bit, but it's much easier. It's not as easy as a lot of videos I was watching make
Now,
it look to be.
is that something that you could overcome, like challenges in shipping and actually? So, hey, for $5, I'll send you a
Yep.
little cube of.
Dehydrated. I'm thinking about dehydrating it because that's how Annie sent it to me, was dehydrated.
Okay. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yep.
Here's your,
your starter to start it, because it's a lot easier to start it from an already, even if it's dehydrated, it's already from an established one than starting from scratch, which is what I was going to do. And then Annie lovingly said, I'm going to send you some. And I'm like, I'm not saying no. So I sent her a little gift today. She got it and she was so excited.
It's just amazing the things you can do for revenue streams.
So many craft breweries in our area, like we call it down in the county. They're becoming known for it, like all over Ontario and other parts of Canada. And people are flocking to the county every summer because we have so many of them now. It's the big, we're not drinkers, so but apparently craft beer is a totally different tasting beer than, yeah.
Well, yeah, they make specialty. Instead of mass producing like Bud Light, they make, X amount of cases of this flavored beer, or but and you can get like yeast and stuff. There are ways. What is it? Potato water, something like that. There's a way to get yeast from leaving something, and I think it's potatoes, out on the counter. And I'm very good at leaving food out and forgetting to put it.
I'd be worried about killing us if I did that. Okay, yeah, I know Sandbank, yeah, but and a lot in the breweries here too, they use all local ingredients, right? Like they're using ingredients as much as they can from the local area, which also affects the taste. And I keep saying I'm going to try a little bit because I've never liked beer. First time I ever got drunk was on beer, and I never had beer again. So, because the next night, that morning was not fun. But I thought about trying because everyone's like, it's so different. It doesn't have that taste that beer does. And I'm like, maybe I'll try it. So.
Yeah. Well, I want to be able to make things like I have recipes to make hard alcohol and stuff like that, because that is a very good for if things go bad for trade. Somebody needs alcohol. It's a good antiseptic. It's a good trade.
Right now, your eggs are worth, it's like, hey, I know what these are worth, so don't try to lowball me.
Yeah. Somebody I saw a meme with a carton of eggs, and it had one of those electronic theft devices.
I see the where it says, will trade for a 2017 or newer Jeep. Don't lowball me. I know what I have, and it was a dozen eggs. But I mean, and all joking aside, like I have a friend who's in the restaurant business. She's seasonal. She opens usually around May and goes to October because COVID had to force her. She was a hairdresser, had her own business, and ended up having to lose it. So she had to pivot, and she's found her passion because the woman can cook like nobody's business. And she's overcome a lot. She's had cancer a couple of times, lost a kidney to cancer while she was pregnant with her second child. Kathy's amazing, and she has multiple sclerosis actually too. But anyway, she was saying how like cheesecake is one of her main desserts at her takeout in the summer. And she might have to take them completely off the menu this year because dairy is going up here again in Canada, February 1st. They're raising the price of dairy. And I mean, it's significant. It's like something like 6% or something like that. They said like it's significant, which hurts us because I got a son who lives on dairy. And like she said, eggs, like in New Brunswick where she is, eggs are really high. So she said, I might have to take the cheesecakes off my menu completely. Like she said, it's going to be an interesting season. She said, because I don't know what I'm going to have on my menus this year. So I feel for those people. And I just never thought, I mean, I'm not 80 years old, but even my grandmother who was 94, she can't get over it. Like she said, she just, she said, I never thought I'd see the day when eggs were costing more than beer.
Yeah.
I'm like, I never thought of that, Nanny, but you're right.
Oh, goodness. Well, I just put, hopefully it'll come up on there.
Everyone have a great weekend. I'm actually going live myself again Saturday. I feel like I've been live a lot lately. But what else is there to do in January?
Yeah. That's what I'm seeing. Did that go clickable? Yeah, the fixed incomes. I was talking to my mom about that.
Maybe that's awesome.
Social Security got a raise, the highest raise in history, 8% but then she got the Social Security raise, which would have been about $80 for her.
Mm-hmm.
And because of Medicaid and Medicare,
I was going to say my parents' Medicaid went up.
she saw a $10 raise. Guys, socialism, you'll all be equal, but you'll all be equally poor. That's just the way they keep you.
Does nobody remember that? Do you not remember in USSR, people would line up to get like Levi's because it was such a big deal because nobody could afford them because everybody was poor.
But we can do it right. But anyway, thank you so much, Lynn, for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. It was fun. And it also given me, I've been making notes because I'm thinking of I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh, I could maybe do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to stop sleeping.
Well, don't stop sleeping. I need to cut back on my naps from an hour and a half to maybe an hour because I am trying to get the blog going every week, and I just need to make better use of my time. It's just so
hard this time of year, Tracy, because your body is telling you to, but I try not to. I believe in naps. I believe naps are part of being healthy, but I can't if I do more than 20 minutes, I'm up all night.
Yeah. As long as I'm awake by 6 p.m., then I can sleep by 9, which I've always been where I can sleep almost anytime, anywhere because of being in the Army. Yes, congrats on the 80,000. That's 80,000 views.
I went to bed and I woke up the next morning and I'm like, wasn't I just at 75,000 2 weeks ago? I was shocked. So no one is more surprised than me. I don't take it for granted. And it's funny though, because once I reach that 1,000, I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to get as many as I can just because I love people and I like sharing my passion. But as a stay-at-home mom and a stay-at-home military wife, you don't always feel like you got to have an opinion or voice it or share your passions. But anyway, I don't obsess as much anymore. Once I got the 1,000, it's like you can take a little bit of a breath, and I feel like I can concentrate more on the quality of my videos now, not just the quantity. So I'm hoping people are noticing a difference. I'm proud of myself because I'm learning some new things of my editing that I'm like, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
A lot goes into the editing.
Yes. But it's really cool when you actually see the difference,
Yeah. Oh, and doing that premiere for the first time this week. That premiere was so much fun. I'm definitely doing that. So much fun to watch it with the same time as everybody else is seeing it. That's a lot of fun. I want to do that again. It's fun. I really like that. You got to do one. It's cool. I don't know why I was so nervous, but I just said, nope, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it I'm just picking a day, whatever the video is, that's the one I'm going to do. And it just happened to be the one about saving my sourdough starter, which by the way, I happen to think my thumbnail for that was epic.
It was.
Thanks, Tracy, for having me. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe from all the storms. I guess that's just about hitting everywhere. So
yeah. Stay safe out there, you guys. We'll see you over at Thorhaven live stream.
Oh yeah, just a few minutes.
Yep. Y'all have a great day and God bless.
God bless.